Hello and welcome to another GLHF board game review, fittingly with me, your GLHF board game guy, Nicholas. Today we have a crime simulator in the form of Ponzi Scheme, a 2015 release from Tasty Minstrel Games. This Jesse Lee title allows you and your table to take on the roles of corrupt investors cheating the market to invest in shell companies that will eventually collapse like a flawn in a cupboard. Will you manage to be the last one with cash when everything falls, or will your investors drag you to the SEC? Let's make economics fun, shall we? Inside the box, we have a great rulebook, one of the best I've come across. It has lots of illustrations and should guide you through the game no problem. Next up is the market board, and past that, we have a pretty bad game insert. Everything gets kind of tossed in here with no rhyme or reason to any of it, and while there are bags for these components, they're not that great. It's a shame because the table experience of Ponzi Scheme is so great. Let me set up a game and I'll show you how it works exactly for those of you not totally up on your 90s financial crimes. Game plays in a series of rounds, with each player taking their specific actions in turn. First up, you'll choose one of the 4 industry tiles, and then based on how many of that tile you have, you'll pick from one of the loans from that row. When you choose the loan, you'll gain the amount of money listed as the big number on the tile and place it on the wheel at the position listed at the bottom. This is how many turns you have until the interest on the loan comes due, which is also listed at the bottom. In this case, I got a loan for $11, and every 5 turns I have to pay $10 back. This loan and its corresponding interest is now mine for the rest of the game. I can never fully pay it off. Once everyone's done this, it's time for the real meat of the game, the clandestine trading phase. In turn order, each player is going to choose another player at the table who shares an industry tile with them and put some amount of money in the wallet as an offer for that tile. The receiving player has to decide if they'll sell their tile for that amount of money or counteroffer by matching that amount in the wallet and giving it back, thus buying the original player's tile. Hear this now, you will live or die in this game by pricing the tiles. Offer too much and you'll end up with a bunch of tiles that are worthless because you're bankrupt. Offer too little and you'll get to the end of the game with all cash and no points. Anyone who can trade gets a chance, which they can decline, and then it's time to rotate your wheel and pay your debts. Anything the arrow points to must be paid off right then and then relocated back to the round marker at the bottom of the card. If you're lucky, the arrow only moves 1 space. If there are too many bear cards on the display indicating a market crash, then the arrow will move 2 spaces and you'll really have to pay through the nose. Once everyone's paid, if everyone can, then the first player marker moves to the next player and we start over. If one person goes bankrupt and can't pay, the game is over and everyone who still has some cash left scores points for the industries they've invested in. What I love about Ponzi Scheme is that while you're competing with other players to see who can crime the most crime, there's also this inescapable feeling of it all being in it together. Everyone's trying to outrun their debt, and when a player takes a bear market card, because they're usually worth the most instant cash at the cost of high payouts later, you really feel their pain. You also know that generally speaking, they're falling on the sword for the group, because the fewer bear cards on the display, the less likely it is that the market crashes. In practice, Ponzi Scheme turns into a literal high-stakes game of racing against the clock, which can be both a boon and a bust for different players. Not everyone likes feeling they're constantly going to lose the next round every turn, while also trying to figure out if they should offer $12 or $20 for their next offering. I'll say this though, in the right group, you'll want to immediately play this game again, and probably again. It's that tight and that rewarding a game. Ponzi Scheme is the most fun you can have while mathing out exactly how much longer you can stay afloat. Gamers who hate the tension of always nearly losing, along with those who don't appreciate having to calculate exactly how much money they need on every turn, are excused here, as those are the central tenets of this title. Let's have a look at the checklist before I give you my final thoughts. In the box, rulebook clear and non-gender pronouns. Ponzi Scheme is one of my favorite rulebooks, as there are clear examples all throughout, as well as step-by-step instructions on the game's terms and phases. It also uses the second-person pronoun you to denote the player, avoiding any pronoun exclusion. Iconography clear. Very. While the exact industries you're trading don't matter, they each have their own icons and color schemes. Packaging well done. There are enough baggies here to house just about everything except the cash, and while the baggies don't comfortably hold the industry titles, overall the packaging just feels fine, not great. On the table, good representation. there's very little representation to be had, as each player is represented by their portfolio and not a player tile or token. Cash is king, or queen, as it should be. Component quality. The paper cash in this game looks great, but is of very poor quality. Think up jazzed up Monopoly money. It gets the job done, but doesn't do it very well. Everything else is serviceable, with the punch-out tiles being the best thing about this game, if that tells you anything. Replay value. Very high. Each game is going to nearly completely depend on the player-driven economy of offering and selling trades, and the length of each game is quick enough that you won't have a chance to get too bogged down in all the details. Fun to lose. Sort of. While everyone is riding the highs of long odds finances, feeling like you don't have an opportunity to make reasonable trades can feel pretty bad. Also, stacking high on one or two industry tiles only to go immediately bankrupt when the market unexpectedly crashes can be devastating, but hey, that's Wall Street. When the bell rings, I really like Ponzi Scheme for exactly what it tries to be. A quick exercise in a very peculiar type of push your luck, while constantly trying to secretly angle with your fellow players for position in the market. It combines mechanics that are both straightforward and obvious with hidden trading, so you're never quite sure exactly where you stand, but you'll always feel like you're about to lose. And because you're doing nefarious economic dealings, you should feel that way, because you're a bad person. I'm Nicholas, reminding you to help protect the game population. Always leave your cards. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed that video, please hit that sub button and check out all of our other offerings at goodluckhighfive.com. And please consider becoming a patron of the channel at patreon.com/GLHFmagic and help us keep making reviews, videos, and podcasts for as little as $5 a month. We're also always looking for new games to review, so if you make games or you know a company who does and wants to have their game reviewed on Good Luck High Five, please reach out to us at glhf@goodluckhighfive.com and we'd be happy to take a look. You can follow me, Captain N the Game Master, on Twitter and Instagram at CaptainNGM, and follow the channel at GLHF Magic. Remember, please shop at your local game store whenever possible. Until next time, I'm Nicholas, and good luck, high five.